Irish fans. Some signs of positivity for this young, youthful side, particularly in the T20I format. O'Brien slips at the non-striker's end, so it'll just be a single.
Yeah, Chitara just straying again onto Kevin O'Brien's pads, and it's flipped down to the final leg this time, just for a one. Potentially should have been two, but Kevin slipped on his on turning.
Yeah, he's just running on the slightly grassier section of the square, not on the main pitch.
You're not allowed to run on the pitch, Andrew.
You can run on the side of it, Jonesy, can't you? But a good start this for Zimbabwe. Taking out the danger man. Cut shot from Wilson. It is aerial, but it's just going to be one run. Wilson thinks about two. Good fielding by Kyle Jarvis, who's got a strong arm. Keeps it to just one to end the second over. Zimbabwe are 10 for 1. Or Ireland are 10 for 1 even, Jonesy.
Yeah, aggressive running there from Wilson. He was looking for two, which is nice to see that positivity. But just restricted to the one run here. Interesting to see, would it be Williams to continue? Yeah, it's going to be Williams to continue as well. So I think it's going to bowl maybe 2 or 3 up top, which is in the power play. It was a very brave decision from Hamilton Matacanta to go with that, but obviously it's paid off so far.
We quite often see it in some of the T20 franchise leagues as well, don't we? We see a spinner try to just get one over in at the start to not give the opening batsman the pace on the ball that they tend to be used to and tend to like working with. But because he's got the wicket of Paul Stirling, they're going to continue with Sean Williams from the Mason Road end. Outside edge, it's going to be a boundary for fortune for Wilson. He was looking to run it fine, but perhaps not that fine. He's not going to mind. 4 more to his account.
Maybe not that fine though, right, Lenny? But in fairness, he was looking for that shot, and with no slip in place, would just run off his edge and down for 4 runs. Everyone's going to be crucial here today. It's hard to know what a good score is after Friday's game being cut short to 13 overs. We felt that 132 was competitive, but Paul Stirling made an absolute mockery of it.
Slower this time. That's a sweep shot again from Wilson, but the man who was out at deep backward square leg, Richard Mudambani's just come a little bit finer and cuts off the boundary this time.
Yeah, I think he moved back about 5 or 6 yards there after Wilson's last shot. Just back on that. It's hard to know what a good score is going to be today. I'd say Ireland will be looking, even after the loss of Paul Stirling, they'll be looking for certainly 160, 170. Short boundary straight.
Yeah, hard to know exactly what a par score is. Mark Hawthorne, I was talking to him, the third umpire today, said that pitch on Friday was as good as he'd ever seen in the northwest of Ireland. Batsman's paradise, as Paul Stirling in particular showed off. But with a wearing wicket, the likes of Sikandar Raza to bowl his off breaks, Ryan Burrell to bowl his leg spin, perhaps we'll see Zimbabwe rely upon spin more. We saw George Dockrell brought into the Irish 11.
Yeah, and they still have Gareth Delaney as well, which his leg breaks could come in handy as well.
Driven straight down the ground, and perhaps there was a single there, but Wilson decides against it. Yeah, for me, Sikandar Raza will be a good option on this pitch.
Yeah, he should be interesting to see how he turns around. He wasn't. I think Stirling took a bit of a liking to him on Friday, so he's going to be under.
He's going to pinch the strike from Kevin O'Brien, and at the end of 3 overs, Ireland they're 17 for 1.
Yeah, a little bit of poor cricket there, in fairness, from Wilson. There wasn't really one there. A clean pickup and direct hit. Well, he would have been back in the pavilion. A little bit of scoreboard pressure maybe coming into play there.
Let's take a look at the 211s, Jonesy. 2 changes for Ireland today. Andy Balbirnie, perhaps a slight niggle. He's been rested. Tyrone Kane being jettisoned out of the 11, but into the team come 2 left armers. We've got Josh Little on the left arm spin of George Dockrell.
Yeah, we'll have a look at them later on, but what I'm kind of looking forward to seeing now is, and Carl McCallum was at pains to talk about it on Friday, is the big hitters that we have coming in down the middle order. So, with Stirling going early, you might get an opportunity to see some of them.
Yeah, there's the Zimbabwe side. Just 1 change for them today. For the second time on this tour, PJ Moore has been dropped. But the big hitter, Solomon Mire's come back into the team.
Change of bowling as well, as Kyle Jarvis comes in to replace Chitara. at the pavilion end.
Yeah, big appeal, but always going down leg, and signalled leg buys by standing umpire Rolly Black. Rolly Black full into the slot and hammered over the offside by Gary Wilson. That's really good batting. Made a little bit of room for himself to free his arms, and with only third man out in the offside, as soon as you beat the infield, it's always going to be 4.
Yeah, nicely played. Good aggressiveness from shown by Gary Wilson coming down the track straight up at Carl Jarvis, putting the bowler under pressure.
Just gave himself a little bit of room as well. He did come down the track, but also gave him the space to free his arms.
Yeah, very much so. So Jarvis now under pressure in this over.
Cut away by Wilson. He does like the cut shot, and I'd say Gary Wilson will be looking forward to get some time in the middle. He didn't play any of the 3 ODIs, and he didn't get to bat in the first T20I that got play in it in the second match on Friday, so some valuable time in the middle for the Irish T20I captain.
Yeah, and it's crucial for him. Obviously he's in a test match squad, so he's going to different format completely, obviously, but he hasn't had a lot of batting time recently, so coming in pretty much opened up the innings today, so it's going to be a good opportunity for him to get a few runs. Slower
ball from Jarvis and hit to mid-on, and the throw from Williams comes in. It hits the back of Kevin O'Brien, who doesn't even flinch. Made of tough stuff, the big Railway Union and Leinster Lightning man. Just 10 days now, Mark, till that historic test match at Lords, and rather unique, isn't it? Playing the shortest format of the game, the T20 format, in the build-up to Test cricket. But they will have a 2-day game against the Middlesex 11 at the Merchant Taylor School to help with the red ball preparation.
Yeah, it's not ideal preparation for the eve of a historic event, but it's the best they can hope for with the schedule at the moment. And in fairness, it's very accommodating of Middlesex to play Ireland in those couple of days, to give them that little bit of practice. And obviously the conditions in the UK are slightly different than over here. The wickets are going to be harder and faster, and you like to think that the Irish groundsman at Lords might do us a bit of a favour and have a bit of a slow low one maybe. Lenny, what do you think?
Yeah, that's Carl McDermott, the new head groundsman at the home of cricket at Lords Cricket Ground. That ends the 4th over. Ireland moved to 24 for 1, going at exactly a run of ball. We haven't seen any of the pyrotechnics that Paul Stirling brought to the crease in the second T20I at this very venue. A more cautious start from Ireland, but I suppose when you lose a player of the quality of Paul Stirling on the very first ball of the match, it's going to send a bit of a rattle down the order. Shatara back into the attack now, this time from the Mason Road end. He switched ends. He starts with a short ball and a good pull shot from Gary Wilson, who picks up the length well. Big chase on for Richmond Mudambani, who's going to cut off the boundary, but surely they'll get back for 3. But they won't, because Gary Wilson slipped. Just 2 runs to the total. The second time slipped in the exact same place at the pavilion end here, Jonesy.
I was just thinking that, there must be something out there. All right, maybe the third umpire needs to run on with a bit of sawdust or something there for the batsman, because both of them now slipped in that same area. Gary rocking onto the back foot there, not getting all of it, and the ball being intercepted and just getting the 2.
Nice quick single from Wilson. It has to be said, Mark, I've never seen the Bready Cricket Ground look so well in its entire history up here. The sun is shining, the blue skies are out. The outfield looks a real treat as well. Yeah,
it's absolutely fantastic, and the place looks really, really well. And in fairness to them, they did a great job to get 13 overs aside in on Friday as well, and all credit to them. I saw after the game a very nice touch from Grain Forward, ran straight out to the ground staff 10 minutes after the game ended, to thank every one of them for getting the game played, which I thought was a very nice touch as Kevin comes down the track.
And a shocker in the deep from Richmond Mudambani. That was absolutely regulation. Should have been a 1-bounce stop. I'm not sure if perhaps a bit of spin on the ball or something, but he's gone to the right. The ball's gone to his left, and it's going to be a boundary 4 for Kevin O'Brien.
Yeah, I think the least said about that, the better, Lenny. That wasn't exactly a brilliant bit of fielding. I'm surprised though with the change of bowling. I thought they might give Williams one more. Obviously, he's bowled 2 up top.
Yeah, O'Brien does like the pace on the ball, but he can hit the spinners out of the ground too. So perhaps that's in mind. It's going to be a maximum 6 from O'Brien. That pull shot was struck beautifully. He rocked back and he's cleared the ropes. Sensational from Kevin O'Brien.
Yeah, he just helped that one on the way. It was a decent enough bouncer from Chitara, but unfortunately for him, Kevin got himself into a very good position just to help that over its way with the final leg being up. Very safe shot and nicely played. Do you think Zimbabwe have identified a bit of a weakness with Kevin or are trying to bowl short to him?
I'm not sure. He certainly is powerful on the front and back foot. Perhaps known more for hitting the ball straight down the ground and with his slog sweeps and the like, but he's picked that short ball up quickly. And the back-to-back boundaries will be followed up by a single. Yeah, just one more little note on Bready Cricket Club. We saw them tweet after the game. I thought it was a really nice touch. Take a bow, ground staff. What a great win for Cricket Ireland, and a great knock from Sterlo, from Paul Sterling himself. We're too tired to tweet anything else.
Didn't see that one yet. It kind of says it all, though, doesn't it? To put in a Trojan amount of work to get the game on Friday played.
Sterling work, I thought you were going to say.
I was going to go there, but I knew you'd pick up on it, so I tried to change my mind.
Cut away by Wilson. Just going to be a single this time to end the fifth over. An expensive one, the most expensive over of the innings so far. Ireland moved to 39 for 1 now after 5.
Yeah, productive over for Ireland. There is a nice crowd building here today, Lenny. Obviously, you can pay at the gate on the way in if you're in the area and fancy coming down and watching a bit of international cricket, as opposed to the nonsense that you're seeing on TV.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful day here in Bready, and you can see the crowd is not just filling up in the grandstand, but also along the bank and up into the kids' zone. Tickets are available on the gate, so if you're anywhere in the greater Derry or Tyrone area, get on down to Bready CC as Ireland try to complete this historic greenwash. They're going to have to do it without Paul Sterling, though, because if you're just joining us for the first time, he fell first ball bowled to Sean Williams.
As Jarvis continues from the pavilion end.
Yeah, we will get those graphics updated at the bottom of your screen. The score moves to 40 now after 5.1 overs. Just having a few wee technical problems up here. But absolutely glorious skies here. Blue skies, sunshine, even a bit of heat, Jonesy.
Yes, very nice. Very pleasant here in Mahara Mason today. I've been up here quite a bit over the last number of years, and I don't think I can recall having to use sunblock before, but had to put a bit on the bounce today, as I'm sure you did, Lenny.
Save the best for last here in the Northwest Cricket Union. Final day of the series. Short ball again, pulled just over the head of fine leg. Perhaps this tactic of going short continuing to Kevin O'Brien, but it's not paying off. He's cashing in.
Yeah, it's a strange tactic. Yeah, he might have top edge one on Friday, but everything else that has gone short to him has been dispatched over the boundary for 4 or 6. As Andrew Leonard goes absolutely bananas beside me because he's just noticed that England have lost their second wicket. Joe Root out.
Yeah, Joe Root is gone in the Cricket World Cup final to Colin de Grandhome. Game on in Lords. And game on here in Bready as well. Hit into the sky, could be a chance. And it is taken, that's a great catch. Really well held, I just hope he hasn't done himself an injury as well. O'Brien's going to have to go. He falls for 22. And a superb catch running backwards at the covers, and O'Brien falls for the number on his back. 22 runs to his total.
I think it was Sikandar Raza who caught that, Lenny. I'm not 100% sure though, but O'Brien trying his more expansive shot over the top and just getting a leading edge, and it goes straight up in the air and very nicely taken. And Lorcan Tucker is the new batsman coming in at 5.
I think it's Richmond Munambani who's clung on to a really good catch running backwards, and incredibly reminiscent for O'Brien of his dismissal in the second T20I as well. A full ball looking to perhaps overhit a touch, and it just skews off a slight outside edge, and a really good catch taken there by Munambani. It wasn't easy by any stretch of the imagination, and the second wicket in the power play falls.
Yeah, very much. So, and by doing transferences, he ends up just edging that one straight up in the air.
Lorcan took her to the crease, but he's not on strike as the batsman crossed with the ball in the air, so Gary Wilson will get through for a leg bye. Brings the exciting and dynamic young Pembroke and Leinster Lightning man Lorcan Tucker onto strike. Tell us a bit about Lorcan as a cricketer, Jonesy.
He's a fabulous little prospect, isn't he? He's played for the Lightning for the last 5 years or so, and he's just become progressively better and better as the years go by. He's still only 23, 24 years old. Fantastic cricketer, fantastic man as well. He's a great young fella. He's a pleasure to have in any team. And he likes to hit the ball in funky areas as well. He doesn't mind ramps and reverse sweeps.
Big appeal. Given. Tucker's going to fall first ball. He walked across his stumps trying to search for the ball. Coming onto the bat, but perhaps he came across too far and it looked like he was trapped dead in front.
Yeah, and I think he knew it himself. The head went down straight away. He was very dejected as Rowley Black took his time making the decision as he always does. But, on first viewing, that looked absolutely stone cold dead, I'm afraid, Andrew.
Yeah, we're just seeing the replay on the screens in front of us. The only thing was it sliding down leg. But you could see Tucker had walked away to square leg and he didn't actually look back. And as soon as the finger went up, he was disgusted with himself. He's gone for a golden duck, the second golden duck of the innings. Sterling went for one, and now Tucker has as well.
And this brings Greg Thompson to the crease. What a story Greg is. He hasn't played a game for Ireland in the last number of years, but he's been in absolutely blistering form for Waringstown and the Northern Knights this year, and thoroughly deserving of his chance. He must be a little bit emotional today as well, though, after the death of Paddy Allen. Being a Waringstown man himself, I'd say it's a little bit of difficult time. So,
yeah, our thoughts with everyone associated with Waringstown Cricket Club. The tragic and hugely untimely death of Paddy Allen this morning. And it was lovely to see both sides hold a minute's silence, not just for Paddy, but also for John Watson, a stalwart of the Northwest Cricket Union. So Greg Thompson does come to the crease in what is his third incarnation as a Irish cricketer. And he'll face Kyle Jarvis.
Jarvis has a bit of a spring in his step now, Andrew.
Yeah, he absolutely does. He's been really impressive all tour, the spearhead of this Zimbabwean attack. I'll just give you a quick update. That is the end of the power play. It's 45 for 3. Our graphics at the moment have just gone down a few internet issues here in Bready. But at the end of the 6 overs of the power play, Ireland moved to 45 for 3.
Yeah, and under a little bit of pressure here as well, Andrew, which they haven't really faced in any of the games so far in this series, but potentially the second of the ODIs was a little bit closer. I thought Jarvis has been the outstanding bowler, the outstanding seam bowler for Zimbabwe on this tour. I recall the last over that he bowled in the first T20, he went absolutely bananas at a drop catch and some poor Zimbabwe fielding. So he seems to be a type of fella that wears his heart on his sleeve and is doing his best out there for Zimbabwe cricket.
I'm going to continue to ring the changes. Zimbabwe, I think it's going to be the man with the golden arm, Solomon Mire, into the attack. We saw him take 4 wickets in the ODI format. He was expensive at points though, so Zimbabwe perhaps just gambling to see if they can find the 4th wicket.
Yeah, and the changes that he's made so far have paid off. And as you say, Solomon Mire is been a bit of a golden arm when he has come on to bowl. He's been very expensive as he starts off with a long half volley, which Wilson dispatches into the covers. They might have looked for 2 there, but they decided on just to take the single.
And these two cricketers that know each other pretty well, playing both for the Northern Knights. Be happy to come together with a partnership now, try and build Ireland up to the sort of 100 total, launch with the last 5 in the innings perhaps, Jonesy.
Yeah, I think Ireland have to kind of consolidate now for the next few overs. Losing 3 wickets in the power play isn't ideal, so they have to build themselves a base where they'll be able to launch from. But Mantakadze is right to chop and change his bowlers, searching for that 4th wicket.
Nicely bowled and a good length by Solomon Mira. You can see Greg Thompson, he's just feeling at the ball, trying to get off the mark.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a number of nerves out there from Greg. As you say, it's his third incarnation as an Irish cricketer, so it potentially feels like yet another debut with the bat for him again after having not played for the last number of years. But he's a solid cricketer, he's a good player, he loves a sweep, loves a reverse sweep, hits the ball very well square of the wicket.
Yeah, school teacher by profession, Greg Thompson. Looking for the perfect summer holiday present here. He's busy cricketer, quick between the wickets, but he does have power to his game. He can clear the ropes as well, Jonesy.
Oh, very much so, very much so. Solid hitter of the cricket ball, but we'll be looking to just rotate, I'd say, for the next few overs, unless they get something wide to latch on to.
Sun splitting the skies here in Bready Cricket Club in the northwest of Ireland for this final match of Zimbabwe's Tour of Ireland. Short ball cut away by Gary Wilson. Just going to be a single. Down to Chris Mpofu at third man.
Yeah, nicely cut off. Just a single this time. Decent first over from Solomon Mira.
Yeah, good tight stuff as Ireland moved to 48 for 3 and now the 7th over of the match. Length ball, big appeal, but going down leg. The appeal only coming from Brendan Taylor behind the stumps, nothing from Solomon Mira.
Yeah, more from hope than expectation, I think, from that one from Solomon Mira. Yeah, I'd say Greg Thompson is itching just to get a little bit more bat on the ball. And he's faced 4 deliveries and 3 of them have come off the pad.
Thompson continues to struggle, and I tell you who else continues to struggle. Brendan Taylor with the gloves behind the stumps. It's been a bit of a nightmare series for him in both formats behind the stumps, so they're going to run through for what is signalled as a bye.
Yeah, I am surprised that Taylor is still keeping. You know, there is 2 other wicket keepers in the squad, and PJ Moore and Wishman Mutambani, I think, keeps a bit as well. So I'm surprised there hasn't been a change in wicket keeper at all this series.
Those graphics back up at the bottom of your screen. Ireland moved to 49 for 3 in the 7th over. And we're going to have a change in the commentary box. Keep you with Mark Jones, who'll be joined by Ian McGregor.
Afternoon, Ian.
Good afternoon, Mark.
You brought a bit of weather with you today. Thank you very much. We've struggled for a bit of weather the last number of weeks up north.
Yeah, it's just to prove to most of the Irish cricketing public that the sun does actually shine in Bready.
Occasionally. And the change in the comm box is also about a change in bowling as Christopher Mpofu comes in from the pavilion end. Immediately starts off with a short delivery, which Greg Thompson dispatches down to deep square just for the single, though.
Yeah, it's been a slightly indifferent start from Ireland compared, obviously, to the second T20. But I suppose losing Paul Stirling early and Andrew Balbirnie not playing in the game, it gives those players who didn't get an opportunity to bat another opportunity.
Yes, very much so. As Wilson again looks to try and nick another single, but this time nicely cut off. So obviously we go head to head quite a bit, Ian, as I'm Leinster Lightning manager and you're the head coach of the Northwest Warriors. How do you think this year's interprovincial series has gone so far?
It's been very stop-start, to be truthful, Mark. Obviously the weather has played a factor in a number of our games, so we feel that we haven't really got started properly just as yet.
As Wilson just guides that one down to a short third man for 1. Yeah, it's very, very difficult to get any sort of momentum going, isn't it? Like we went to Spain and it bloody well rained over there, so that's been quite difficult for everyone to get their head around.
Yeah, unfortunately that just seemed to set the tone for the first half of the season, but obviously come the start of August, the interprovincial's back in full swing again, so hopefully we'll have more of this good weather.
Swing and a miss. Big appeal there against Greg Thompson, but kind of only half-hearted, and the bowler didn't go up there at all, so just a dot ball. Yeah, like the Leinster Lightning have 3 back-to-back 3-day games, and then we have the T20 Festival up here in Bready.
Yes, we're back in Bready from the 16th to the 18th of August, and certainly we'll be hoping that the weather gods are kind to us, and if we can get 3 days like we've had today, it will be really, really good for us all.
And that will be a godsend, all right. And Pofield continues, and Greg Thompson just works that one down to third man just for a single. Obviously, you're an Irish selector as well, Ian. So, talk me through the reselection of Greg.
I think you've alluded to it earlier. His form currently has been fantastic. Obviously, he's not new to international cricket. This is his 3rd reinvention, I think, was the terminology used.
Another one just worked down a third man to end Mapufu's first over.
Yeah, but especially in T20 format, we certainly know when the Warriors, when we play against him in his Northern Knights, he can be a really difficult guy to bowl against, because he can manage to hit the ball in really strange areas. And I think, given the circumstances here, whilst it's probably not the platform that he would have been looking at to come to the crease, it does give him a little bit of time to start to build an innings, and obviously with his captain at the other end, who's just starting to get a bit of momentum, this partnership is probably fairly crucial in trying to get Ireland up to a very, very competitive total.
Yes, very much so. Wilson 25 off 25, and Thompson just struggling a little bit at the start of his innings. Obviously, he's probably very emotional after the death of the Warringstown stalwart Paddy Allen today. And we send our heartfelt and deepest condolences to all the Allen family and to everyone in Warringstown Cricket Club as well. Very sad news. Wilson just shuffling across there, looking to give himself a bit of room on the leg side. Just works his way through to Brendan Taylor. Have you seen all the series again? The Zimbabwe series. Have you been watching all the games, all the one-day games in the T20?
I've seen one game live, the 3rd game at Stormont. I was away with the Irish under-19s in Worcester. As we see, Gary Wilson dropped at backward point.
Yeah, the Zimbabwe fielding continues to be poor. This time it was Sean Williams. Wilson hit that with some vigour, all right, but still should have been taken low down to his left. Yeah,
certainly Sean Williams has probably been one of the better fielders in the Zimbabwe outfit, and you would expect someone of his quality to have taken that catch.
Yeah, himself and Craig Irvine have been the 2 standout players for Zimbabwe in this series. Very tight single this time taken by Wilson, and a direct hit would have had him out there, I think.
I think that was a very risky single taken by Gary, and you just wonder, was that on the back of the ball before? Was that playing on his mind a bit?
Maybe so, but Matsakadze cutting that one across, and probably should have hit direct. He was only about 3 or 4 yards away. So, who's impressed you most from an Irish perspective in the games that you have seen so far, with the exception of Paul Sterling, obviously? I'm not going to lay a wax lyrical about him. And more poor fielding this time at mid-off. Greg Thompson latches onto one there, and Gary Wilson, not paying attention, has just worn the return throw into Brendan Taylor in the chest.
Well, obviously, Tim Murtagh's bowling again has been standout. He manages to keep producing performance after performance for Ireland. and ultimately even he leaves Ireland and goes back straight into the Middlesex team and continues to take wickets for them. So I think it was 5 wickets that he took in that first game back. So he's been an incredible performer for Ireland over the years.
So yeah, we had just back to the action there. We had a few internet connection issues and the graphics went down there, but I think we're all sorted now. So apologies to all for that. I couldn't agree with you more. Murtagh bowled absolutely fantastically in the one-day series, and he went back to Middlesex, and that form continued, which is great to see and very encouraging as well. With a Test match just round the corner, I think he's going to be crucial to Ireland's performance in that game against England.
But very much so. It's current form and obviously his local knowledge with being a Middlesex lad and having played many times at Lords. I think the fear of the Irish players who feel nerves, certainly the better.
As Mapofu continues and Greg Thompson's struggles continue as well, he's struggling to get one away here, I think, Ian.
Yeah, it's a very un-Greg Thompson-like performance, as anybody who will have seen him bat and anybody who's watching the live feed will probably acknowledge. That being said, of course, Greg does have the power and he's got the ability and the shots that he can catch up, and I suppose that's the nature of this format of the game, that there is still potential for that to happen.
Yes, very much so. This time Mapofu straying onto the legs, but Thompson can't cash in this time. Bit of an appeal which has been stifled, and he has a bit of a chat with the umpire on the way past, all very jovial though, I think. Nothing really much in that. You mentioned the under-19s there a while ago. The qualifiers are on, is it the week after next, the same week as the Test match in Holland, if that's
yes,
correct?
The 24th of August. Correction, sorry, the 24th of July. The team fly out for the under-19 World Cup qualifiers. As we see Greg flat bat, one down to Sean Williams at long on. Yeah, so obviously it's a very important tournament for us. Having qualified 2 years ago to get to a World Cup final in New Zealand, which saw us beat Afghanistan in the group games, who of course went on to the semi-final of the main tournament itself.
As Mapofu continues, this time Will just works that one down behind. Just a single this time. Both batters seem to a little bit here. These overs are
It's off the ball, which
risk has been taken so far by either try and push it away, and just as I say that, Greg Thompson goes in and out and shook it all about a little bit and ended up just shot though. Talk with you.
no, and I'm not sure in this T20 would emanate coaching manual. However, that said, anybody who watched Paul Stirling's innings here on only one or two.
As Wilson advances down the pitch, Mapofu spotted him, bowled it shorter, wider, and ends up with just with a swing and a miss, just a dot ball there. Yeah, certainly Paul Stirling was absolutely in imperious form on Friday. Some cracking cover drives as he always plays. I've always said it, when he cracks one through the covers, the ball seems to go off like a shotgun, doesn't it? It's a magnificent sound.
He's fantastic to watch whenever he gets in full flow. Batting seems just so easy. He's very still at point of contact. He gets his energy into the ball. It's just a simple see ball, hit ball mentality.
Fortunately, he didn't see the ball. He missed the ball today, first up, which is a thundering shame for all who came to watch him play today.
With my selector's hat on, yes, it's disappointing not to see Paul Stirling score runs. However,
again, Wilson putting the fielders under pressure here and getting two there, nobody backing up. Change of bowling at the at the Mason Road end with Sean Williams coming back, and immediately Greg Thompson's into his reverse sweeps.
Yeah, I think Greg will be probably feeling more comfortable against spin. At the minute, it'll give him an opportunity, as you say, to bring out his array of sweeps.
Yes. As we have both been on the receiving end of them over the years, haven't we?
We have indeed.
So, sorry, just back to the under-19s then, Ian. Four fantastically played.
So you've got ourselves, Scotland, Holland, Jersey, Denmark and France.